Hey everybody, it's Ozone. Welcome back to my little corner of the world here in Vintage Story. It's a beautiful, lovely spring morning. We haven't seen any signs of snow or ice in quite a while. The weather's just getting to be lovely out here. And as always, I have been a very busy boy in between episodes. First off, I've created a brand new garden plot here to the side of the house. And look at this. This is all turnips. I have so many turnips. It is kind of silly, honestly. But they saved me through the winter. I mean, I was really glad to have all the turnips and all of that food. We're really not collecting a lot of food yet from spring, now that spring is here. I have had some rye that survived the winter, but not a whole lot, honestly. Additionally, I have another 4 sows that are pregnant. I've got the remaining pigs still in the pen back here where I sorted them out, and that'll be food for another day. The thing is, the food doesn't spoil when it's walking around in the pen, so we're just going to keep it back there as long as we need. The goats, on the other hand, really haven't been doing much. This girl is still pregnant. Haven't seen any babies just yet. Also haven't seen any female sheep around to try to bring one in for the ram over there. But the berry bushes are getting close. We're getting close to being able to have fruit on the vines, which will be really quite lovely, honestly. My fruit nutrition is in the tank still, and I'm going to be chowing down on any fruits that we can get as soon as they're ready. I've also been hard at work digging this hillside back and leveling it out. There's a nice lake on the other side here, so I should just be able to level this all the way out, but it's taking a lot of time and a lot of durability, so instead I decided to build this thing up one level. And what is this thing? Well, this is going to be the primary focus for this episode. This is where I'm going to keep bees. I've got the fence around here because raccoons like to get into your skeps, and so this should be safe from them. But yeah, we need to find some bees. But that is task number 1 for this episode: finding bees and finding resin. Resin is necessary for mechanical power, and I am so over using a regular anvil and hammer to work iron. The extra step of turning the blooms into ingots and then ingots into something, oh man, that is painfully slow, and I know that mechanization will solve that. But I have no resin, and you cannot do any mechanization without resin. Additionally, though, bees are really useful for a lot of things, namely the honey and wax. And it takes a long time for them to produce things. Now, wax is necessary for candles, and if I want to do any better lighting up, then I need those candles. And honey can also help to preserve fruits for the winter. So, yeah, that's the big thing that we need to do. Once we get some resin and get some mechanical power, I'm thinking about adding a tower to the back half of the house back there and utilizing that space, because that part of the attic really isn't being used at all. Well, we got a long way to go to get there, and finding the resin has sure seemed to be a chore. I've got a forest right over there, and I was walking around in it the other day, could not find any pine trees with resin in there. But up here in this gravel fields where I originally did my copper sifting, I do recall seeing a tree with resin on it. So I think I'm going to make a trip to run up here and try to find that resin. Well, this whole area here is foresty, but this is where the bear was that I encountered, and it's probably respawned and probably back there. But this area was relatively safe, and like I said, I saw resin up here. But I want to do some more exploring. I want to get out and do some more exploring, and I feel like it's just past time. I've been cooped up inside too long, and I want to get out of the house. Now, additionally, I have made up all of the brass that I have into torch holders, and I've got them all around the inside and outside of my house, so it is lit up as well as it's going to be, and I don't have to worry about the torches burning out. Got them on the fronts and the sides, inside, upstairs, and down. So, yeah, that's a good success, but lanterns are better, and lanterns need candles. So it all circles back to finding bees. Now, with all of that iron working, I've been able to make a bunch of iron tools, so I should be set for a nice long adventure and not have to worry about these things breaking. I'm still going through my 10 bronze tools, of course, but that takes time too. Oh, and I also went back to where I found the iron and finished mining out the area. Or, well, finished it enough that I'm happy with it. Look at all of that iron. And that is in addition to this whole crate, which is full of iron nuggets. So I kind of think I'm not going to have to mine any more iron anytime soon. But it was really quite enjoyable. And as far as having survived the winter, I'm doing really well. I've got quite a bit of bread baked up. I've got quite a bit of turnips still left, and I've still got a little bit more grain. Actually, I think this grain is maybe new from the last of the winter harvest. I don't really remember, but I've still got a lot of food, which I didn't honestly expect to have this much food left over. So I guess that was just really good job of preparing, huh? Didn't have any problems. Now I do want to get another area set up here for more farm animals. And I've had a couple of rabbits trapped, and I've been really frustrated with them. So I'm going to make a little area here for some rabbits. That should be pretty easy. Meat and leather, if I can get a couple rabbits trapped. They reproduce very, very fast. I think I also want to try to get into some chickens, and I haven't seen any chickens in the area recently. But where I'm going, well, there might be some. So maybe we can trap some chickens while we're up there too. But before I go, I do want to get the skep area all set up, and I have prepared some things for that too. A long time ago, I made a bunch of skeps, and I've just been storing them up here in my attic. So let's get them. Let's get some flowers and get the bee area all set up. And now the big thing about the bees is they love the flowers. You need to have flowers in order for them to spread. So I collected a whole bunch of this heather, and I'm going to run around placing it everywhere. We'll have a few skeps in the middle ready to go for when I do finally get some bees to swarm. And then hopefully we can get some bees and some honey and some wax going. Now I want to get them spread out just a little bit, and I put them on top of fences because if a raccoon does happen to get in here, that should keep them out. But this area should be pretty good for keeping 9 skeps. And I only have 4, and I got to take at least 1 with me. They can be made up a little later on fairly easily. But I really like the idea of being prepared for when I do get them, you know? So we just got to fill in the rest with these flowers, and we will be ready to go. Well, it is a lovely spring morning, so I guess it's time to head on out. I've loaded up with a good bit of food, and I've got all my basic materials, a couple skeps. I'm ready to go. Let's just hope that I can find some bees and some resin now. And by the way, in case you're wondering, all of these pine trees, they're ones that I have planted, so they cannot make resin. I've been able to move quite a bit over and make my own little forest there, but yeah, not going to help me find resin. This area has lots of good wildlife that I've been able to hunt quite a bit, honestly, but that's not the goal for today. So what is the goal, like I said, is to get resin, and I've got to clear away all of the stuff around the trees so that I can actually see whether the tree has resin. I don't really need the sticks. I have tons and tons of sticks, but some of these resin nodes I think can be pretty high up, and well, there's not a good way to see it. But this one doesn't seem like it has any resin. And that's been what I've been finding all along. But I do think I am going to cut down all of the trees that I've checked. It'll help to eliminate duplicate work, you know what I mean? Checking things multiple times. And I need the logs anyway because I need a ton of charcoal. So, this looks like this is going to be what I'm doing for the rest of the day. Another tree with no resin. This forest seems like it's pretty big. I know I saw some resin in here, and I should be able to find it, but wow. It's really rare, apparently. I'm not having any luck with it. Yeah, I finally found one. Yeah, resin. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so this is good to know. No matter what face I'm looking at, it still says leaking pine log. It doesn't necessarily show you the resin, but at least if I scan one side with it and look for the tooltip change, that will certainly help out. But for right now, we got to mark this one. Very good. Now I need a lot more. So we got to continue searching. Ooh, I think this might have been the one that I found before, because I do remember it being very low to the ground level. Ah, yay, another one. Well, we got another goat over here. Interesting. But it's getting to be nighttime, and I think it's time to just get settled into the old seaside shack here. I did actually bring a door. Yay! Now it's really a lot more like home. Not much has changed, though. I don't expect I'll be able to do very much in the area, but I don't want to go home just yet. Although my pouch is quite full. I've worked up all the sticks into ladders because, well, I'm going to need them, I guess, when I go mining, and it makes them a little more easily portable. But I guess I can just stash some of the wood in here and come back another day. Ugh, there's not a lot of storage in here either. But we'll keep looking for tomorrow. Well, another beautiful morning. Time to resume the search. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more. There's a bear. The bear's back. Yeah, so I told you that was bear country. I'm pretty sure that he can't get in with this one block hole. He seems to be happy ignoring me for right now, so I guess I'm happy with that. Alright, well, I think we're not going that way. Let's go back this way where I was going in the first place, and hopefully the old bear doesn't decide to come back. It is going to make getting any resin out of this area, if I happen to find any, a little bit harder. And here we are, back safe and sound at the homestead. Oh my, it looks like, well, they're not quite ready, but all my turnips are almost ready. Wow. And the crops have just done extremely well. Very nice. So has the wild grass. But look at this. I have got a ton of logs and 9 resin. I was able to find 9 resin trees, and that'll be a good start for making some windmill stuff. I don't think that's going to be enough, but I'm really happy to have found that much. But for now, I need to empty my inventory and get things put away. And by put things away, I kind of mean get my charcoal pit all filled up. I mean, if I got all these logs, I might as well use them up into getting some charcoal. Well, since I had a relatively successful search for resin, I guess I should go ahead and start making some of those components. According to the handbook, it looks like we will need to craft a windmill rotor and at least 4 sails in order to get things going, as well as some axles and gears. Okay, see, there's a resin, some fat. Doesn't look too bad. I believe I've been able to collect enough flax from either my farming or from killing drifters that also shouldn't be a problem. Okay, axles don't seem to be too bad. And gears, there's some more resin. But I know that that's not enough to really get things going because we need the helve hammer and that has multiple pieces as well. But it's a really good start. Now I will say, one of the things that I do really miss from Minecraft is the crafting recipe book. We have no crafting recipe book here. And so when I want to craft something, if I'm not familiar with the recipe, I've got to go to the guide, try to take a memory snapshot of what it looks like, and then come over to the crafting grid and oftentimes not get it right. And that's a little frustrating. I would really like to see a mod that adds a crafting book, kind of like Minecraft has, and I actually did a quick search. I didn't find anything. Now, I'm hardly the expert at that, and it could very well be out there, but I feel like to a certain extent, the game really should have something that lets you automatically fill in your crafting grid from the survival guide. Yeah, it's not very realistic in some ways, but at the same time, it's a nice quality of life improvement. Well, anyway, let's get some of our pine logs that we just collected. Let's grab some animal fat. Don't have very much of that. And we need the hammer and chisel. And I think I've got a chisel. That's a knife. That's a wrench. Well, maybe I never have made a chisel. I thought I made a chisel. But I'm not seeing it on any of my tool racks here. So, okay, looks like we need to make a chisel as well. I swear this chisel is like the biggest waste of materials. Oh my gosh, it's got so much extra space. Well, oh well. I'm sure I'm going to need it for many, many other things. And, you know, the recipe itself doesn't make that much of a difference. It takes an ingot, and as long as it takes an ingot, it doesn't really matter how much of that ingot it uses or doesn't, I suppose. Quick quench right here in the water. And now, the only reason I can do this is because I happen to have the wiki up on the other page. Otherwise, yeah, no way I would remember this recipe. But this is the important part, the windmill rotor. And I suppose we only need one of those for now. I've got enough sheets of linen that I can make 2 sets of sails. I'm sure it'll be used in the end, but wow, I thought I was doing really well with linen, and yeah, I just used it all up. That's a bit scary. And then I think the last really important one is the angled gear. Again, I'm totally looking at the wiki on the other monitor here, and yeah, there was no way I would be able to remember that. Such a weird combination of recipe items. You need a hammer, a saw, a chisel, and some stuff, and then all of a sudden you get the angled gear. I don't know. It seems a bit weird, but there we go. And lastly, we need some axles, and we got to throw the hammer in there too. I think I'm probably going to need quite a few axles. Well, it looks like actually I can make 4 based on the amount of fat that I have. So maybe it is time to kill all the pigs out there in the pen. That's about the best way I know to get fat. But yep, that's the amount of crafting that we can do. It's enough to get a set of sails going and turning, and I think that's about it. I don't have enough materials to actually make it do anything, so looks like we get to go back out and do some more exploring. So I guess before we do that, or a way to go do that, is I want to go back to the outskirts of the hills over here where I was on the way home. I had found some chickens and marked them on my map. So I've got a couple chests with me, a couple traps. I've got a couple of things for bait. So I want to see if I can go catch some chickens. That sounds like it could be fun and beneficial. Well, speaking of fat, we've got definitely... Oh, there's the chickens. Ah, yeah, this area has a lot of options. Well, let's start by putting down our traps. And I think we really just have to wait. I don't know. And it looks like there's 3 chickens. I might be able to just watch them and see them fall for the traps. They seem to be attracted by it, definitely. Oh, they tripped the trap but didn't get stuck in it. Looks like both of them have been tripped. I only brought those 2 pieces of grain with me, but alright, well, I guess we move on then. So here's a doe that was stuck in this area. I put down a couple fences to try to keep it in place, and it seems to have worked. Let's see if I can just flat out kill it. Yes, yes. Now that might give me some more fat. A little bit. It's just a little weird how things get stuck, and I'm always happy to take advantage of that. Well, I guess let's just keep exploring and seeing if we can find things to kill. And stay away from that rift. Oh no, I forgot food. That's not so good, really. I see a wolf in the water, and I think I can get him. Here, Wolfie, Wolfie, Wolfie. Oh, he's gonna get me too, definitely. But can we get some fat from this guy? Uh-oh, he got friends. And again, I did not bring any food, actually, so... Oh, yay. Got that one too. Nobody likes wolves. That one did not have any, but that's okay. I will take the meat and the leather. Looks like they've got wolf number 3 up there, but I'm feeling low on, and wolf number 4. I'm feeling low on food, and wolf number 5. Oh goodness. I think we'll just keep giving them a little wide berth, maybe? I don't know. Nah, we can pick them off. Attacking from underneath while swimming? Oh, definitely. Works well. Feels like cheesing it, honestly. Oh, here comes contestant number 4. Let's go, buddy. My short-sightedness on food, however, seems to be a bit of an issue, so we gotta start heading back to the base. But honestly, 4 lumps of fat for the pretty quick encounter that I did have isn't bad at all. Well, I guess after a quick lunch, I'm gonna try to head back and see if I can capture those chickens again. It did seem like it would go fairly quickly if I just got a little bit lucky, I guess. So yeah, let's hope maybe we can get the chickens. Yeah, unfortunately, I've come to realize that I'm just not going to be able to carry enough of these traps. You know, I've got too much on me right now, but I think I am going to set up several, and then hopefully I can get 2 chickens from all of these. Oh, hey, we got some chickens coming down. I see at least 2. I think there's maybe a 3rd coming, and there's this one right here coming too. So yeah, maybe we will get to have some traps. Like I said, I really don't think I can carry them all. Oh, one of them just triggered. I can't tell whether I got one or not though. There's still a lot of oh, it's wiggling. It's wiggling. I got one. I'm only going to be able to carry the one back, but I will definitely be making a beeline back here tomorrow because I'm almost running out of daylight too. But between all of them, something's going to give. Something's going to get one. Well, I can reset 2 more and take this one back, and then we got a temporal storm to deal with. So, contains a frightened hen. Cool. Animal husbandry the easy way through traps. I'm liking this one a lot better than dealing with rams and channels and all kinds of weirdness in that regard. All right, let's see. Control 4 to select that one and right click. Yay! We've got ourselves a trapped chicken. Now, come on, girl. Let me get out. You're blocking my entrance here, girl. Oh, it looks like we do have a kid. What I want to know is whether the kid is a male or a female as well. Because I really want to... Yes, it's a female. A Generation 1 female. That's going to be great. So as soon as that one's born up, raised up, then we can get it going and start working on Generation 2. It's going to take a while, but given that they only produce 1 kid, yeah, that's what's going to make it take a while, because sometimes it's a male, and obviously you can't continue the generations with a male. And would you look at that? It is May the 2nd. You know what that means? You know what that means? That means I have been playing in this vintage story world for over an entire year, because your playthrough starts on May 1st. That's right, I've got an entire year of playthrough, and I haven't died. I'm still very, very happy about that, and proud of that accomplishment, honestly. So yeah, a year, and I haven't died. Now, unrelated, I guess, I just also wanted to try to figure out how to make glass. So I've got some quartz chunks in there, and because I remember reading that the bloomery is also used to make glass. So while we're weathering the temporal storm, let's go ahead and fire up the bloomery here and see what happens to our quartz when it's finally done. I do think that this house could use some windows, although most of my walls are pretty well occupied with stuff. But yeah, I think some windows would make this house look pretty nice. Well, the storm is over, and it was pretty profitable. Got a bunch of flax, 12 rusty gears, got 4 more temporal gears. Let's just hope that they're not up in the room. I like my little hidey hole. Yes, we seem to be safe. Yeah, I like my little hidey hole. I can actually be pretty profitable and kill a bunch of drifters during a temporal storm by doing it that way. I've got to make sure to stay far to the back, because those double-headed drifters, man, they will take me down to half health with 1 hit. But it seems to work out pretty good. Well, since I was able to get more fat from those wolves, I can make a little bit more in the way of the parts that we need. I previously made up the helve hammer head, so we should be able to make up the helve hammer. That should be pretty easy. Okay, iron helve hammer, very good. And now we need the base and the toggle. And honestly, the guy doesn't do a really good job of this, but Basically, the hammer is a big teeter-totter and it swings up and down. The base is the triangle stand that it sits on so that it can swing up and down, and the toggle is what rotates around and causes it to swing up and then down from the other end. So again, looking at the wiki on the other screen here, because yeah, there's no way I'm going to remember these recipes to make the Helve Hammer base, and we should only need one of these for each Helve Hammer that we make. I know some people will make multiples, and eventually we might, but for right now, I only need the one. That doesn't leave us very much in the way of resin at all. But we've got a little bit more done, and I'm feeling like we're better suited to get into the mechanical age. But now that it's morning, I want to get back to the chickens, see if I got any more, and see if we can finally start mating these chickens up. It is now day 582, checking on the chickens, and oh, we've got one! We've got a rooster! Awesome! Alright, so we are going to lock the male into this little area right here, and see if I can just do this. Control 4 to select it, and yay! You are all trapped, little chickie. Alright, that should be good. Let's get this thing trough loaded up for her, and hopefully we'll have a nest of chicken eggs here pretty soon. In other news, wow, the turnips, they sure grow fast. They are almost all, if not all, ready to harvest. And that, I guess, I mean, it's a good problem to have. And now I've got this whole field that's pretty well depleted of nitrogen, which I really don't have any other I don't have any other crops in large amounts that I can put over here to try to utilize some of the other nutrients. And once I have all these harvested up, I don't know where I'm going to put all the seeds. I think a lot of people would just throw away the medium fertility soil, but I really don't have a supply of it nearby, and I've got to go quite a ways to get it. I think for the time being, even though it would get stunted, you know, it's a 58% crop, I think planting it and growing it even at a slower rate or at a stunted, reduced amount is better than just having the seeds sitting idle. So this soil is going to get completely depleted of nitrogen, but you know what? That's okay, you know, we can only do what we can do. But wow, that is so many radishes. That's going to last me a long time. Although in actuality, yeah, it might actually just turn into pig food or rabbit food or something. But I'm still glad to have it. I'm still going to grow as much as I can, as often as I can. Oh, you know what? It's a long time later. Well, let's break apart the old bloomery here and see what we get. Wow, 12 blocks of glass. Nice, nice. Well, where am I going to put it? Well, I think that's a problem for another day. I honestly wouldn't mind having some nice big windows right here, but yeah, storage is in the way, and that's fine. That's fine. So, but yeah, it's really just as simple as putting some of this quartz in there and some charcoal, and yeah, glass is on the way. Easy. Nice. Well, it is another beautiful morning. It looks like the rooster and chicken are doing okay, but they haven't done enough to actually mate. But you know what? I'm ready to leave again on an adventure and avoid the rifts. As I said initially, I need bees, and we have yet to find them. I've made good progress with the resin, but the bees, no progress has been made. And in looking at the map, well, I've been through this foresty area here, but it looks like, I think this is a big old forest on the other side of the lake, and I think that's where I want to go try. I haven't been over there, and I'm kind of really itching to get out and see something new, you know? There isn't any kind of limit to swimming, just going underwater, so I think I'm just going to go straight this way and swim for it. There really doesn't seem to be any dangers in the sea, not like there is on land. And, yeah, let's just go for it. Now, actually, I think there are boats in the game. And I didn't think this through. I probably should have just made a boat, and it would have been a lot faster. But yep, that looks like a dense forest, all right. Whoa, you hear that? I've already found bees. That's bees. Where are they at? There it is. There's the nest right there. Okay, well, very, very nice. We need to find a whole bunch of flowers, though, and that'll make them want to swarm. Whoa, what is that? Coal. Very good. All right. Well, we got to put down a bunch of flowers in order to encourage those guys to swarm. And the more we can do, the faster that's going to happen. So we're on a good path here, but I would love to do a whole lot more. And so for what it's worth, my plan is to stay over here until that skep is populated. And that means I'm going to be doing a little bit of exploring, a little bit of collecting, and a little bit of prospecting in the meantime. Wow. You were just not scared of me at all. I was a little scared of you. Honestly, I didn't know what you were. Well, I don't know. I guess it's time to check it in the morning, because it's going to be dark before you know it. And I want to have a place to stay and a way to pass the time. So I'm going to make myself a bed. We're going to have to get a fire going. And yeah, we got a little bit of setup to do in order to be able to camp out in this area for a little bit of time. I guess we'll come back and check the skep tomorrow. All right, made it safely through the night and got a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, got a whole bunch of coal. But how is the skep doing? It's an empty skep. No, why is it empty? Nearby flowers 1, population size poor. Well, I should have checked that a long time ago. The flowers aren't up here, and so it won't swarm as a result. Well, looks like we got to move all these flowers and make a platform for them way up high. I should have checked that before. I just kind of jumped right into it without really checking too much, and now I'm paying the price. Okay. This is pretty close. I feel like this is going to be a good level to try to put all these flowers on. Okay, that's better. Nearby flowers 16, population large, will swarm in 5 days. More flowers. Okay, 47 flowers nearby, will swarm in 1 day. I think that's a whole lot better. I can still put more down, and it might speed it up just a little bit, but this is taking a long time. It'll be worth it in the end. I should only have to do this once. Now, something I'm just now thinking of, and I think I might have a little bit of a problem, is that you have to carry a skep like you carry a reed trap. Meaning, I got to take off one of my backpacks. I had to make a reed chest here and offload some of the things into it, but we should be fine. We should be fine. But when you're going through the process, it's something to keep in mind. And, well, I did it. Well, bright and early the next morning, let's see how the skep is doing. Oh, it's populated. Awesome. Can I just, yeah, I just pick it up. And yeah, I did indeed have to give up that slot. I am going to leave all of this here, and just in case I have to come back at some point. Although I really hope that I don't. And I'm also going to get a little bit more wood so that I can make a raft for the trip back. Because that sounds like a good plan. Alright, well, let's see how this boat thing works. I think I gotta do like that and like that. Can we make a raft? Very good. And how do I work it? Oh no, I've got to make an oar too. More rope and more logs. Oof. It's a good thing I do actually happen to make more rope. How do I do this? Oh, just pushing forward. Okay. I was making it harder than it needed to be. Well, this is easier than crossing the ocean the way I did initially, but it's also really not much better. I did this one because I was a little concerned about the skep getting ruined in the water, but I've pretty well already proven that that's not the case. But you know what? It's fun. So now we got a raft on the lake, and we can go around easily into some of the other areas maybe. I definitely want to be doing more exploring and getting out into some of the other areas. You know, things like coming back for some coal, maybe, or continuing to look for some additional resources. Exploring is a very important part of the game, and it's also a very fun part of the game. Something that I really enjoy doing. I honestly didn't feel like I was able to explore enough while I was over there. But I'm going to assume that that boat is just fine right there, and it's going to be, yeah, I'm just going to assume that it's going to be just fine right there. Because I want to get this beehive back. And finally, we've made it back home sweet home, where our bees are going to live forever. So let's select the skep and pop it down right there. Nearby flower is 0, population poor. Well, that will update pretty quickly. So, but at least it's populated. At least it's got something. So, yay! Oh, wow. That was quite a trip. I'm really glad to have it done. This farm is coming together so well. Ah, I can't wait to see if the chickens are ready to mate. I didn't leave enough food for them, but they should be. Oh, it looks like I've got some crops in the field that are all done. Yeah. Like I said, the farm is coming together really, really well, and I'm enjoying the process. Looks like in between episodes, I get to continue to search for resin, maybe go back and see if I can collect from those trees that I found once before, because we've got a few more mechanical bits to make. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to be working on the tower on the house, trying to get that windmill ready to go for next episode. But I really hope you enjoy watching the progression as well. I'm enjoying this game quite a bit. I've said it before, and it hasn't changed. So, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for your comments, and please consider giving the channel a subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. But from the world of Vintage Story, I guess it's time to say goodbye. So, farewell. Remember, be excellent to each other. I'm out.